Before I moved over here to YouTube consistently, I would do what was called Face It Fridays on my Instagram. And my message today feels like one of those moments. Face It Friday means the kind of like tough love, if you will, of whatever you're going through or dealing with or need to correct or address in your life or business or career or relationships, i.e., life. Um, and so, what came to me this week is you only have just enough because you only give just enough. I know, let it settle in. And what that comes from is how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you do the bare minimum at work, you get the bare minimum out of it. If you only do the bare minimum in taking care of your financial situation, that's why you only have the bare minimum to get by. Or um, if you only do just enough in your relationships, in your dynamics with your kids, with your parents, with your spouse, you reap what you sow pretty much. And how you do one thing is how you do everything. Like you believe you're excelling or your kids are doing good or whatever, everybody is towing the line. But I wonder what would happen if you stepped your game up just a little bit. Even if things are good, they can always be better. And if you stepped your game up 1 to 5%, not drastic, but if you made the benchmark, the goal, excellence, like doing your best every time, excellence, what would you see? Like uh giving your all, not just, well, they understand, or one of the ones my pet peeve, God knows my heart. But what if God just gave you just enough? What if he just, well, I wanted to send my son to the cross, but that was doing too much. I wanted to, show you how much I really loved you, but that was doing too much. I'ma just, sprinkle a little bit of love here, a little bit of grace there, a little bit, and that's enough. What if you did more than the bare minimum? And I'm not saying even above and beyond. I'm saying if you just stepped up more. Because above and beyond, we think, oh, we, got to stay up late and hustle and grind. And it's like, no, what if you just genuinely self control, which is part of the biblical principles, and you did your work to the full extent of your capabilities? If you didn't just say, okay, that's enough, I don't need to do all that. But what if you really gave it your all? How would you see your life? Like, what would come to fruition if you really put in that effort? If you really gave what you want to see? Like, you want to see overflow, you want to see abundance, you want to see extreme, excuse me, you want everything God has for you, but you only want to give enough to get done. Like we giving C, maybe B average. But what if your goal was A plus all the time? And I'm not saying, because I just did a video recently, and I'm not saying wear yourself out, drain yourself. I'm saying that every day that you show up with the capacity that you have, that you give everything you got, everything. And you were diligent. I'm not saying beat yourself down or be a machine. I'm saying when you say, I'm going to pay the bare minimum on this bill. Well, you already know the interest and the fees and all that come with that bare minimum. So what if you did more than the monthly minimum. Then you know, one, it'll be done faster, be paid off, and two, you'll benefit from paying more because the balance will be lower much faster. The same with everything else you do in your life. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you do that with your finances, or a bill or a debt that you're trying to pay down, what if you did the same thing in your health, and the same thing in your home, and the same thing the way you communicate with your family, and the same thing in your career, your job, or your business? Like if you start applying that one principle to every area of your life, that's the domino effect. That's the ripple you'll see throughout the rest of your life. But the bare minimum, you have you have just enough because you give just enough. And if this is you, if you can't say amen, say ouch. But if you want to see abundance and overflow, but you're not sowing in a way that will reap that, how can you expect that? How can you expect, even when in God's sovereignty and his unconditional love and how you can't be God given. But if you got a good life now, where you at, and God been showing up for you, and you've been killing it on this level, and you know it's more for you out there. You know you desire more. You know you haven't been intentional in your relationships. You know you haven't been intentional in your work. You go to work, you get up, you go to work, you do just enough to get the job done, stay off the radar. That's it. Well, that's pretty much the life you're going to have. Because how you do one thing is how you do everything, and you only have just enough because you only given just enough. But if you challenge yourself to step that just enough up to elite, commit, go full out, full court press. Everybody is not a star athlete. Everybody is not a world champion. Everybody does not get the Nobel Prize. Everybody is not a Pulitzer Prize winner. But the people who are did something that other people aren't willing to do, in a way that other people aren't willing to do it. And if you are one of those people who are willing to do it, why not do it? Now, yes, there'll be no perfect attendance awards at your funeral or in your eulogy. No, there won't be people saying, oh my God, they were a Nobel Prize winner. They'll be talking about how you made people feel. But if you're giving yourself the bare minimum, what you giving other people? That part. So even if people will speak highly of you once you've left here, they'll speak highly of you as you are here. But the more effort you put forth, the more fruit you will see that you want to enjoy. And not just that we got to do it for what other people are going to say. What are you saying about you? What are your actions saying about you? What are your actions saying about your character? What are your actions saying about who you say you really want to be? Are you the person that people will look for and look to? Or are you the person that people be like, well, I mean, I guess that's a good choice if you want to pick somebody. What are you saying about you? Not because, oh, you wanted something done, give it to the busy person. But does your reputation, does your character, does your demeanor, does your work ethic speak about you the way you want to be spoken about? Opportunities and doors come when they find you doing what they're already looking for. Not because you're saying, pick me, pick me, pick me, but because you're already doing the work. You're already exposing yourself as somebody who is reliable, who can be counted on, who is going to show up for people, who knows what to say and when to say it and how to say it. Because everybody talking ain't saying nothing. But if you're the person who, I know if I put you in front of somebody, the work is going to get done, the communication is going to be clear, you're going to get a full understanding of what's necessary, you're reliable, and you're somebody who's diligent, you're self-starter, All these things that speak to a leader, all these things that speak to somebody who I can count on, all these things that speak to someone who wants to be their best self, not just for me or my team, but for themselves. You don't need me to cheer for you, although I am. You already are cheering for yourself, and it's exhibited in how you perform. And when I say perform, I don't just mean at work, I mean in your life, period. How are you showing up in your life for you? That is what is teaching other people how to treat you, how to speak to you, what to say to you. So if you give the bare minimum, you're getting the bare minimum. Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. I don't care if your credit score is a 700 and you got thousands of dollars saved in the bank, you got your 6 months emergency fund. Somewhere in your life, you do that everywhere. If you're great in all the areas, I'm not talking to you. But if you know that you are not, you know there is an area in your life where you wish you would step your game up. That means that thing is really the thing of how you do everything. You just fluff over it really well. You present well. All the chaos is out of the shot. It's not in frame. But if you are the person who you killing it, everywhere is good, you don't see any problems. But if you know deep down inside there's somewhere that's a snag, or you are great, you're doing good, but you know you could get that C-suite office, or you could raise the bar in this area in your career, your business. You could raise the bar over here in relationship with your kids. You could raise the bar over here with relationship with your parents or siblings. Then I'm talking to you. You have just enough because you give just enough. And how you do everything, one thing is how you do everything. And if everything is not clicking on all cylinders, now I'm not saying keep every plate in the air, because that's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about how you perform here is how you perform there. Okay, these areas are great. Let me clean this up, because this is the thing that's going to make me stumble. This is the thing that's going to make me miss the other opportunities that are already lined up for me in these other areas. It may not be 6, 7 different areas. It may be one thing, and you like, I keep brushing this under the rug. I keep putting my head in the sand in this area of my money or in my romantic efforts or relationship. Oh, they gonna be all right. They know I gotta work. I'm working to provide for them. But if you working to provide for them and you're not a present parent, or you're just a provider parent, that's not healthy, and that's not feeding that relationship. You need to be a present providing parent, a present providing spouse. Providing is not the only area that matters in a relationship, whether it's paternal or marital. You need to be present as well. You need to be included, involved. So if you're providing but you're not present, that's still unhealthy. It's still not balanced. And I don't like to use the word balance. I like to say harmony. Like everything is not going to be perfect all the time. For a season there, you may have to sacrifice some time or some things. But if all you are doing is dealing out cash and items, and I can't get your time, that's unhealthy. So how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you have a demanding career, make sure that you demand from your life that make space for that time, for it to be a priority, that you are intentional with those you love. If you have financial strains or situations you know you've been brushed under the rug, look in the mirror, look in your wallet, in your purse, in your handbag, and get real about where you really want to be financially. Look at those bank accounts, look at that credit report, pull out those files. Get serious about where you want to be. If you know your investments could be bigger, stronger, deeper, more valuable, more dividends, get intentional about your investments. If you know that you have a strain in your relationship with your employees, okay, get diligent about hearing their side of things. How can you boost morale? What do you need to do? Yes, you can still be a leader. You can still assert your authority without being, evil or mean or harsh. And whatever that thing is that's got you being that way or feeling that way, that's what you need to deal with. That's a you problem, not a them problem. And if you are exceeding your boundaries and you're not enforcing what's necessary to make that relationship productive, then that's still a you problem, not a them problem, because you're not enforcing the rules and your authority. So that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But all these areas matter for your success in whatever relationship dynamic that it is. Communicate these things effectively and then take action. Take action. And it doesn't have to be massive, large, booming action, throwing out everything in the house all at one time. It could be small, little, intentional steps along the way. Paying down $10 a month on something, throwing away one item out of your hallway closet every day or every week. It could be having a conversation. We're going to be intentional about family time every day. Before dinner, we're going to sit for 30 minutes and talk as the food is prepared. And then we're going to have conversation over dinner and be engaged. No phones, all the things. Whatever it takes for you to regulate where you know you are doing the bare minimum. That is my message for today. If you heard anything that resonates with you or that you could share with a friend, please do so. Like, share, subscribe. And until next time, love well.